Everybody, and welcome to our first edition of USSSA New Jersey Basement Chat. For those of you who don't know me, I'm one of the state directors. My name is Jim Pilla, and I'm being joined today by my color analyst, veteran player known as Rip.
Good evening, everybody. How are you?
Rip, it's going to be a very exciting season in USSSA New Jersey, and as you know, we're here to talk about the teams that are entered in both the D Conference as well as the E Conference.
Yeah, looking forward to an exciting year coming up for them guys.
Absolutely. Now, before we get into the teams, we'd like to thank our primary sponsor of the conference, which is none other than Evo 9X, which is a uniform company located in Edison, New Jersey. We'd like to thank Mohammed and everybody at Evo for their support of the USSSA Conference this year, as well as our graphic designer, Chris, who was kind enough to put together these wonderful logos that you see here. Now, it's going to be an exciting year all around in UTRIP. We have implemented some changes, Rip, including we're going to be hitting the Dudley ZN balls at the big conference event.
Wonder where you got that recommendation from, my friend.
A very, very wise man. Also, we have Brian Evans taking over as our state umpire in charge.
Another good move.
Absolutely. We'd like to congratulate Brian. He's been doing a great job for us, as well as getting all of our umpires trained. The last person we'd like to thank here on our first edition of the Basement Chat is Mr. Augie Guarnieri. Augie was instrumental in getting this D Conference put back on the map, shall we say, Rick?
Augie's a big lover of softball, but I think he plays 5 nights a week, and every weekend he gets an opportunity.
Absolutely. Good man. So, without further ado, we are going to announce the teams that are playing in the D portion of the Evo 9X Conference. As you can see, we have a list of all of them. Starting from the top corner, we have PSB from South Jersey, Ewing Dirt, the Old School Dragons, AMG Above All D Team, the Assassins, Diamond Nation, South Jersey Extreme, Just a Cut Ellery's Young Guns, and 10 Guys, 1 Cup. Those are the teams that we have this year, and Rip, let's jump right in and take a look at all these teams.
I'm with it. Let's get on it.
Okay. Our first team, we're going to go alphabetically, is AMG Above All D. This is a team that had a nice run and another sanction at their regionals last year. They're coming back to USSSA. What is your analysis of this team?
I think with them having that run gives them a little experience in tough game situations. A couple of nice pickups they went out and got this off season is Richie Smith, who's just a flat out hitter. Infielder, and a gentleman who can play anywhere, is Franny DeFelice. Got a veteran pitcher in Joe Hafner on the mound, and some veteran presence on the bench. We got Timmy Russo, Nicky Martini for most guys, and Nicky's probably got more backside hits than guys of games played in this game. They've been around a while. I look for them to be a pretty stout team from that standpoint in the conference this year.
That's a good way to put it. They've got a lot of veterans both on the field and in the dugout, so they're going to be a very deep team if they need somebody to come off the bench for a pinch hit or something like that.
Which is always crucial. That happens often.
So your final analysis on AMG Above All?
I think they can shock a few teams. I expect them to be there when all the chips are down. I really do. I expect them to have a good run based upon the talent they have.
Okay. Our second team is the defending conference champions in the D, which is none other than the Assassins, led by Tommy Majorana. Rip, tell me about the Assassins.
I mean, here's another team, right? Been together for quite some years now. Bunch of close-knit friends, some good players. One guy who jumps off the map to me right away would be Johnny Engelman, who's probably as smooth as anybody with the glove that you're going to find, and is a great all-around player. They have a couple other guys. Another guy who's been at the mountaintop is Frankie Morano, who plays for them. And Eric Negron's another guy smooth with the glove and has come a long way as a hitter. But in all honesty, Jim, if the Assassins are going to do something this year, it's going to rest right on this man's shoulders right here, Augie.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? He's the guy that's going to carry them. He's a bulldog on the mound. Doesn't mind if you hit it back at him. Whatever it's going to take, he's going to put it all on the line every time out, and that's going to really determine where their season goes.
The man is a winner. They have picked up both Augie as well as Kevin Corbo, and I believe Frosty as well. So those are 3 very, very solid pickups. I'm sure you'd agree with that.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Okay, so the Assassins, Rip, in the mix?
Definitely in the mix, and I expect, to be honest, them along with the above all team we just spoke about, I expect both teams this year have deep runs, not only through the conference, but when they get to Worlds as well.
Okay, well, we'll see how it goes. The next team up is Diamond Nation, led by Dave Bendel and Mark Gould. Now, this is a team that was reclassified from the E program by the home office. Diamond Nation thoughts?
A team that I think kind of should have been reclassified maybe a year or 2 ago, based upon the level of experience playing at the level where they were. This is going to be a good test for this team to see exactly where they stand. They have some guys that have been around the block, a lot of very guys long in the tooth softball years-wise. Dave Bendel, you got a couple of them guys like that. Big pickup from this year, I think, is Chris Yee. because Christian's going to be that guy who can thump it when they need to thump it.
Absolutely.
And the other guy for him who's a standout hitter is Eddie Grosecki, who I think is a very multi-talented player, can play infield, outfield, and hits it line to line. Big news for them if they can perform. But it's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle for them because it's a new experience at this level.
Sure, and Diamond Nation's going to have chemistry. They're going to play hard for each other. It's going to be a tight dugout there.
Well, listen, when you have that many friends who've been together that long, the chemistry has to be there in order to have that type of success.
Okay, so final word on Diamond Nation.
I'm interested to see where they go. You know, I mean, with Zim coaching in the background and helping out, I think they can have a pretty good year. But, you know, like I said, there's going to be some tough battle tested for them.
Okay, our next team in the D Conference is the Old School Dragons, led by A-Rob, and this is a team that is registered in the E, but is going to be playing up a little bit this year in the D Conference.
Another team with a ton of experience and guys that have been there before, done that, literally. Guys jump off the map to me: Dan Boyle, Alex Martinez, Keith McKelvey, Bob McGill, Wally, Ronnie Pacheco, Tracy Perkins has been there. All these guys have been there, done that, guys. I mean, Danny Boyle's been hitting 700 right down there. How many years now? 10, 12 years? I mean, to have this kind of leadership around, it's going to pay dividends. You know, not to mention they have a smooth fielding Jose Rivera, my boy, who I like to refer to as Hova.
Absolutely.
Gloves like a vacuum cleaner, right?
Sure.
So, I mean, what's going to take them a little bit in the beginning to gel and get used to each other, and the leadership that guys like Albie Roman and them can bring to the team, we're going to see where it lands. But I expect them, another team, to be a dogfight.
Agreed. Now, when they play E, if they're going to go down to the E Worlds, can they keep it in the park?
That's going to be determined. I think the best bet for them would be to start the year at D level, play in the D Conference, and really see where the chips fall. That's best going to suit them when September comes.
Absolutely, but hats off to A-Rob for putting the band back together.
Listen, not a lot of guys like to step up a level. You know that, right?
We've seen that
in
many different situations. Now, our next team is a team also moving up, like Diamond Nation, Ewing Dirt, led by the pitcher, Brian Bleakley. These guys were the runner-up at the E National in Ocean City last year. They hit throughout the lineup. Tell me about Ewing Dirt.
I've seen them play a couple times last year, 3 or 4 times, just went out in the ballpark, seen them play. I can tell you one thing about Ewing Dirt. I think they're going to benefit more from bumping up to the D level that suits their style of play. Gritty, fast, got a couple of guys who can thump it when they need to thump it. I think this team could be the shocker team in the conference.
Well, they like to play a lot. They're going to be playing tomorrow at Mercer, so they'll be getting off to a lead, I believe, in conference points. I am very excited myself to see what Ewing Dirt has. Our next team, and this is a team that could either be awesome or could struggle, is Just a Cut Ellery's Young Guns, led by Billy Lester. They have an enormous amount of talent, a lot of speed and power. They'll be playing more U-Trip this year. Tell me about Just a Cut.
I think the difficult part for Just a Cut maybe this year, maybe the adaptation to U-Trip. From a natural ASA, NSA type team, getting into the U-Trip, getting used to the juking, the pitching, going to take them a little bit to get the wheels going, but there's no doubt the talent level's there to get it going.
Mucho talent. Just a Cut will be opening up on our side at the Guillotine on April 23rd, which is looking like an extremely strong tournament.
Yes, I agree with that, that's for sure.
You'll have PSB there, you'll have the Assassins, Deluxe, TNT, Ewing Dirt. There's going to be a lot of people there, so Just a Cut could be right in the mix there on the 23rd.
I agree with that, that's for sure.
Now, not on the board, but I have listed on my list for the D Conference is Max's on Maine. Max's is a longtime D team in our New Jersey program. They're coming down for the high-low in June. They're coming down for the smash it in July. If Max's could find space for another tournament somewhere, they may or may not qualify for the conference finals. Your thoughts on Max's?
They've been coming to Jersey for quite some years now, 3, 4, 5 years, I'm going to say, coming down. And basically when they show up, they wreak havoc. There's always a game that they win that people don't think they should win. They're just a gritty team. They pull for each other. Down 10, up 10, they're always pulling for each other, which is huge. They stick together. So, I mean, like I said, that's that team, again, shows up. You never know what could really happen.
Absolutely. They've got a baseball background and they play hard. Our next team is PSB South Jersey Militia, led by Sticks. They're going to be opening up next weekend at the Razorback. I haven't seen their schedule yet, but Rip, you know this team. You've played against them. Tell me about PSB.
One thing about Sticks' teams is they always got a little grit in them. Guys that want to get to war, guys that want to play. A couple guys that jumped off the map just reading over their roster to me was Brent Dempsey, big kid, strong kid, good ball player. Another veteran they got is Eric Crean. He's another guy who just hits it all over the place. And Sticks is Sticks. You know, he's not going to roll out there with a team that can't get the job done any given weekend. They're going to be in it every weekend. They come set to play, mindset right, a whole lot of handful for everybody else to deal with, that's for sure.
Okay, I agree with everything top to bottom there. Now the next team, this is a very interesting team. South Jersey Extreme, led by Luke Force. Now, South Jersey Extreme didn't play a lot of U-Trip last year in New Jersey. They took the trip down South 95. They are entered April 23rd in the Guillotine. They're entered in the High-Low. They're entered in the Smash It. They've got some pickups. They've got some veterans. Rip, tell me about South Jersey Extreme.
The one thing I commend South Jersey Extreme about is Luke always puts his teams in tournaments that they're going to get tested. They don't look for the easy out tournaments here and there. They're not afraid to show up where the big guys are. I think that plays to their favor as more as the season goes on and get ready for World. Hopefully they'll be attending the U-Trip World this year, as you mentioned.
They believe they're
as
going.
you mentioned, and I look for a lot of things. You know, they got a lot of talent on the team. Ron Dorsey Jr., right? I mean, think about where he comes from. His pop was a big-time major player. Ron, God bless him, right after a bad accident, came back strong, getting better every year, hopefully, right? A lot of good things that jump off. Outfield speed looks to be very good, which is huge when you're playing at this level. Steal outs, right? I think I think the D conference this year as a total could be a very win weekend in and out tough battle.
Okay, well that's what we set it up for. That's what we're looking at. Now, the last team on my list in the D's is 10 guys, which is another E team playing up. They are coming back to U-Trip this year. They're playing a full schedule. They're playing a D schedule as well as going to the U-World. Thoughts on 10 guys?
I would like to start by saying I'm not shocked they're stepping up playing in the D conference. I mean, this team just shows up when there's a tournament. Doesn't matter who's in the tournament, and they want to play softball. And if you take them lightly, you're going to be in for a dogfight. You know what I mean? I commend them. Playing up all year in the D conference will have them ready when they make that voyage down to Orlando.
Okay, well there you have it on the teams in the D. Now, Rip, you know, we have some teams that are upper level teams this year in New Jersey. So for our first edition of USSSA New Jersey Basement Chat, for those of you who are watching and aren't familiar with these teams, we'd like to touch on the three teams basically at the top that are not able to play in the D conference. The first team is an A-level team. Rip, you're very familiar with this team, coached by Joe Benanti, Above All Landscaping, which is co-sponsored by Evo 9X and Mikan this year. Some thoughts on Above All?
Well, first, we touch on the sponsor, Joe Benanti. I don't think there's a better guy really in the game of softball. I mean, here's a guy that just loves the game, loves his players, treats them as if they're his family. I think this year, with being their third year in the conference, this is the year they come of age. Playing in the conference is a different animal than you're used to. It takes a year or two to get the feet wet, to know what to expect every weekend. I think with some of the pickups they made, some of the players they have that have been with them for years, this is the year they make that step and get Joe to where he needs to be in this conference level.
I wouldn't doubt it. Now, they've got 6 or 7 New Jersey players in the team.
Correct.
Who are 1 or 2 of the New Jersey players that you think will step up and be leaders this year?
I think, just you're talking about a leader, you're talking about a guy, Tom Paterzo, 10 plus world rings, flat out stone cold hitter. Another guy that's got to really step up for them, in my opinion, should have a bigger year, would be a Jesse Campanelli, a guy who's now his 3rd year in the conference, phenomenal defensive player, just an all-around 5-tool player. Willie Allen is a guy to me who will keep these guys on their toes and not let them take their foot off the gas. Willie's been there, done that guy at the conference level for a lot of years, and I think at this point in Willie's career, it's now. You know, there is no tomorrow for him. I hate to coin a phrase, but that would be it. And I don't think Willie's going to let them take their foot off the gas.
Absolutely. Now, in terms of the out-of-state players, I don't know many of them, but is there anybody looking over the roster from the out-of-state guys that jumps out at you as a difference maker?
A couple of guys they picked up this year, to me, out of the ones that make a difference to me, would be a Grant Grin. He's a hitter. He can play versatile positions, but he's going to hit the ball. He's going to do his best to make sure his team's in a good spot. And another guy, obviously, when the heat comes down sometime for Worlds, David Miller's the guy who's going to drive the ball out of the ballpark on a consistent basis for them. And I'm excited to see exactly where they mold this year as far as how they're going to go with their lineup. But I think this is the year that they start to get some separation from the rest of the pack.
Yep, and they have one of the best in the business putting that lineup together. Doc does a fantastic job.
Listen, one thing I can tell you about Doc, there's a guy who knows numbers inside of numbers.
That's right.
So he's going to put out the best lineup possible with him and Joe and Jerry Vitale making a lineup to give them the best opportunity to succeed game in, game out, from an analytical standpoint of view, coming with stats. And in reality, numbers don't lie.
Well, we in New Jersey are very, very proud to have Above All representing us at the conference level.
Huge.
The next team is Deluxe Bakery, and so the next team up is Deluxe Bakery in the C, led by Hall of Famer Sammy Roccaboldo and, of course, Bill Sampolsky. Rip, your thoughts on Deluxe this year?
I mean, what can you say about the Deluxe program that hasn't already been said through the years? Well overdue. Credit to Sammy Roccaboldo and to the Hall of Fame. And when you have that kind of sponsor led by a guy with the veteranship of Bill Sampolsky, nothing but positive things, right?
There's been some chatter about what class Deluxe should be playing in, but they are bringing up some young guys from the D level. I think C is the right class for them. They should make some noise down at the Worlds.
Jim, my honest opinion is this. Let them start the year in C and see where the chips fall. A lot of young guys, some veterans, a well-grizzled coach, a phenomenal sponsor. Let's just not rule them out for anything other than starting in C.
And they're seeking a competition. They're playing a lot of opens, and we'll see how that
As
goes.
always, my friend, as always.
The other team we have, near and dear to your heart at the C level, is TNT, sponsored by Tommy Tverdik. Rip, you're involved with TNT. This team is loaded on paper. Tell me about TNT.
Listen, we got some good veterans, some young, stellar talent. If it all gels together, it could be extremely fun to be a part of. That's for damn sure, man.
You've got two of the best pitchers in the business, Rock Crawford and Mike Kalinowski.
Listen, Jim, the reality is this. When you're playing at this level, everybody knows that you need to have two veteran pitchers who are time-tested and world tournament tested. We have that with both pitchers.
So who do you think one of the top performers for TNT might be this year?
I mean, listen, let's just go based on pure talent. You'd have to say Kenny Donaldson Jr. Bobby McMahon, I expect big things out of himself. Tony Wargo. I mean, the list goes on. Woody Darling. Everybody expected to pick him. Defensively, I have the Wizard, in my opinion, Dougie Rubel. So I think as a totality and some of the young talent we have coming in, if we gel, we'll be where we need to be.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. So that should do it for the upper level teams. And now we're going to be moving on to introduce the teams in the E. Tommy Tverdik, the sponsor. We certainly want to thank Tommy. He's one of the very best in the business. Tell me about Tommy Tverdik.
There's no doubt in my mind. Another guy in the same level, in my opinion, is Joe Benante as far as the kind of guy he is. Obviously, he's not doing the conference level, that commitment that Joe's doing, but these guys are stalwarts. If you remember a couple of years ago, they coached the Futures team together.
That's right.
I mean, what can you say about two of the best premier sponsors? While Sammy was coaching the veterans, these two guys headed the Futures, so I mean, you can't say nothing about both of them. And Tommy Tverdik is an unbelievable guy in his own right.
They've both done a lot for New Jersey softball.
I agree.
Absolutely. So, moving on to the E teams, Rich.
Jim, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little tired of doing the analytical. Time for you to step it up here, and you're going to do a little analysis. I want to go over the 10 total E teams in the conference, if you don't mind. Starting off, we have Wrap It Up, coached by Eric Smith. Dream Warren Sports, Raw Talent. Red Eye Sports joined the conference this year at Delaware.
Correct.
High Haters, DC Air, Backyard Brawlers, Ease Irish Pub, Titan Trucking, and the last but certainly not least team, Jim, out of Delaware is DSC Softball.
That's correct. They just joined, so we don't have the graphic on the board. We'll get that up for the next basement chat.
All right, let's run down the teams, see what you can give you a little bit here. What do you give me about Coach Smith's team? Wrap It Up.
I'll tell you, Wrap It Up has a lot of talent. They made some pickups. That's a former hardcore team. They're bringing over Rocco Malo to play the outfield, Rich Muir to play first base, Rob Delfino to play shortstop. So pickups that they made, the talent that they have, they can do big things this year.
Another team just looking to gel. What do you know about Dream Warren Sports?
Love to play. These are guys that will play in a mini tournament on Friday night and get up Saturday to be at the field at 8 o'clock for BP. Also a team with a lot of upside. They're going to be playing a full U-Trip schedule. They're going to be going down the world. Very dangerous.
And one of my favorite teams to watch play, Jim, Raw Talent.
Raw Talent is opening up tomorrow in Mercer. That's in their backyard. Raw Talent has proven themselves at the E level. They go first to third, second to home. They're going to do the little things. They won the Frosty Balls in the E. Very, very good team.
They are a lot of fun to watch, that's for sure. Next team on my list, Jim, is High Haters, coached by the CEO of High Haters and lead singer of Menudo, Tiny DeLagas.
That's right. Tiny did a very nice job with his team this year. I didn't have them among the favorites in the Frosty Balls, and they just kept sending teams home. They can go as far as Joel at shortstop wants to take them. Tiny, I think, has put together a nice little squad.
What do you got for me on DC Air? But I know they've been around a minute.
DC Air has two different groups. They've got the younger guys from Ocean County, John Vale and his son Andy, ran TLC last year. They are merging in with some veterans from...
Jim, excuse me one minute, I got a hot call coming in here.
Oh.
Hello? Yeah. That's not possible, is it? You're 100% sure? I'll let them know, I appreciate it. Be good, buddy. Jim, you're not going to believe the call I just got here.
I'd like to hear about it.
Speaking of Joel Rodriguez, he just traded the CEO of High Haters to Wrap It Up for 2 grilled chicken wraps. What do you think Coach Smith feels about this?
2 chicken wraps to wrap it up? Holla, son.
I hear that. There it is, folks. We were off already. We didn't even play a game. We got a trade already. I can't believe it.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Jim, what do you think about the team apparently that's sponsored by WWE, the Backwood Brawlers?
Backyard Brawlers have a lot of guys from baseball. They are looking to play. They're new to USSSA. They're going to get better with every tournament.
Baseball swings, low arc, could be good things.
Absolutely.
And apparently the drinking team out of PA, E's Irish Pub, bud.
E's Irish Pub, very good coach, Bill Shallcross. They had a nice run at the 7-game guarantee. They sent a lot of teams home, played very deep into the tournament. They're playing a full schedule. They are my sleeper team this year in the conference.
And another team I'd like to touch on here, has been around in a hot minute, Titan Trucking, led by Coach G Money.
G Money, one of the colorful characters on the team.
Money.
G Money. They will be dangerous. They've got Papitz, who's one of the best pitchers at the E level. They are minus Justin JB for the year with an injury. That's going to hurt, but Titan Trucking, very dangerous team.
And last but certainly not least, Jim, out of Delaware, DSC Softball.
They'll be up tomorrow for our Super Duel NIT rip, so we'll get a good look at DSC tomorrow. I don't know much about them.
That's all 10 teams, Jim. I appreciate you giving us a preview of those teams.
Hey, absolutely. So I'm going to take it back, Rip. We're going to get ready to close it. We've got 19 teams here tomorrow at Mercer. Let's hope that the rain holds off. The Razorback is next weekend out in Pennsylvania. We're setting some of our teams out there.
72 teams, Jim, loaded up tournament right there.
72 teams. We've got PSB, Deluxe, and Assassins going out there. Assassins defending champions. Can they repeat?
With Deluxe showing up, the loser's a little bit of win. Timmy Batcher's on the mound. I'm going to put my money on the boys from the bakery, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
That is some tournament to start the year with, that's for sure.
I'm sure Billy Sampolsky is looking to be riding home with the trophy this
There's
car.
no doubt about that.
The 3 tournaments, Rip, that I think are going to be very big this year. April 23rd, the Guillotine, which is going to be an NIT now. We have 17 teams already signed up, including yourself, TFT.
Yes, we will be there for sure.
The High-Low on June 4th in Brick will be very good, and the July 9th Smash It Sports NIT in Brick. Those should be the 3 tournaments to watch.
I think those will find out who lays where, and if everybody shows up to all 3 tournaments, could be blockbuster type of year for you, Trip.
Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing that myself. Now, before we close, Rip, let's do some predictions. D Conference, who do you like?
I'm going to go with the team that's been there, done that, probably with the best pitcher in the D Conference, right? I got to roll with the Assassins here.
I can't argue against them. And at the E level, who do you like?
Jim, if I didn't go with my family, I would be out of the family, right? I'm going to wrap it up, boys.
Okay, that's strong words there.
What do you got for me? What's your predictions here, bud?
You know, I think I'm going to hold off on giving a prediction because we're getting ready for our next edition of the Basement Chat. So
fair enough.
We got to save a little something for the next time. So with that, before we go, I'd like to again thank the folks at Evo 9X, Mohammed and his team for sponsoring. And Rip, it's been an absolute pleasure here. Thanks again for joining me.
My pleasure as well. I appreciate it. Appreciate it, folks. Stay tuned for us.
We'll see you guys. Everybody, good luck this weekend at Mercer.
Good luck.